Hello, my name is Timothy Rex Meredith, and today I'll be talking about Galileo. Galileo was born in the country of Italy in the city of Pisa. The city of Pisa is known for its famous landmark, the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Galileo loved music. He played an instrument called the lute. His father liked Galileo's musical ability, but he did not believe that Galileo could make a living off of it. So he put Galileo into studying medicine. Soon, Galileo was appointed a professor at the University of Pisa. The other professors did not like Galileo because he doubted the ancient Greeks. One day, Galileo saw a swinging lamp. He timed the lamp on how long it took to get from one point to the other end and back to that point again. He found that it was almost always the exact same time. He tried this again when he tied a string to a rock, and he had the same results. He never thought of developing this into a pendulum clock. Galileo believed that instead of the Earth being the center of the universe, which they thought back then to be true, the sun was the center of the universe. Galileo made theories, and he called his theory on what he believed the Copernicus theory. One day, Galileo heard of the telescope. He was determined to make a great telescope, the best one that had ever been invented. So he set to work. He soon created a telescope that magnified things 30 times. Usually, people didn't use his telescope to look at things up at the sky. They just looked at things from a far distance away. But one night, Galileo took out his telescope and pointed it toward the sky. He saw many astonishing things. The people believed that the moon was circular and perfect, but when Galileo used the telescope, he saw that the moon had mountains and valleys and craters, just like the Earth did. He also saw Jupiter and how it had 4 planets circling around it. He believed that he decided that those were Jupiter's 4 moons. He also saw Saturn with what looked like a bulge around the middle to him. He drew Saturn like this. But we now know that Saturn does not look like that. Instead, those bulges are Saturn's rings. Hello. The poem that I am going to recite for you today is called The Strange Man by Derry Down. His face was the oddest that ever was seen. His mouth stood across twixt his nose and chin. Whenever he spoke, it was then with his voice, and in talking, he always made some sort of noise. He'd an arm on each side to work when he pleased, but he never worked hard when he lived at his ease. 2 legs he had got to make him complete, and what is more odd, at each end were his feet. His legs, as folks say, he could move at his will, and when he was walking, he never stood still. If you were to see him, you'd laugh till you burst, for one leg or the other would always be first. If this whimsical fellow had a river to cross, if he could knock it over, he'd stay where he was. He seldom or ever got off the dry ground. So great was his luck that he never was drowned. Yet the reason he died and the cause of his death was owing, poor soul, to the want of more breath. And now he is left in the grave for to moulder. Had he lived a day longer, he'd have been a day older. The Bible verse that I'm going to recite for you today is Proverbs 6:6. Go to the ant, you slacker. Observe his ways and become wise. Without leader, administrator, or ruler, it prepares its provisions in summer. It gathers food during harvest. How long will you stay in bed, you slacker? When will you get up from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the arms to rest, and your poverty will come like a robber, your need like a bandit. Hello. Now I will be talking about insects. Insects have three main body parts: the head, thorax, and abdomen. They also have 6 legs. A lot of insects have mandibles. These mandibles they use to bite you. A lot of insects may not look like they have the head, thorax, and abdomen, but they really do. My favorite insect is the stick insect. It looks just like a stick, but it is still an insect. It uses its look to camouflage itself on a plant or a tree.